The street was aptly named Tranquility Lane. It was the kind of place where children played freely. Neighbours knew each other's names. Cookouts filled summer evenings with the scent of charcoal and laughter. Life was simple, peaceful, until the day Jasveen Sangha moved in. Her arrival was unassuming. A moving truck, a flurry of activity, then silence. No one knew much about her. No one could have predicted the storm she would unleash. The tranquility of Tranquility Lane was about to be shattered. The first sign was the traffic. Cars coming and going at all hours. Strange faces, fleeting glances, and an undercurrent of unease. The whispers started subtly. Who was she? What was happening behind those closed doors? The once peaceful street was now plagued by a constant hum of activity. Late-night arguments, doors slamming, the occasional siren piercing the night. Tranquility Lane was transforming, morphing into something unsettling, something sinister. Word spread quickly. Jasveen Sangha. The name was uttered in hushed tones. A sense of dread began to permeate the neighborhood. She was the ketamine queen, they said, a purveyor of illicit substances. Her business, a dark cloud hanging over their once bright street. Fear replaced the neighborly warmth. Parents pulled their children close. Conversations ceased when strangers walked by. Tranquility Lane was holding its breath, trapped in the suffocating grip of fear and uncertainty. Matthew Perry, a beloved actor wrestling with inner demons. His struggles with addiction were no secret. He sought solace in ketamine therapy, a glimmer of hope in his ongoing battle. But hope, like addiction itself, can be a fickle mistress. Ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, offered Perry a reprieve from his demons, a temporary escape from the relentless grip of addiction. But it also presented a dangerous allure, a slippery slope that threatened to pull him further into the abyss. Section 5. A Life Unraveled. Perry's reliance on ketamine grew. The line between therapy and dependency blurred. The drug that offered solace now held him captive. He became entangled with Sangha, his life intersecting with the ketamine queen in the most tragic of ways. Sangha, accused of supplying Perry with the very substance meant to help him, became a figure of scorn and anger, her alleged actions a cruel irony in the face of Perry's struggle. Section 6. The Ketamine Queen. Jasveen Sangha, the woman at the center of the storm. Her alleged drug operation, a web of transactions and deliveries, ensnaring the vulnerable and feeding a growing demand. The Ketamine Queen, they called her, a title whispered in fear and disgust. The charges against her were damning. Distribution of a controlled substance, conspiracy, her alleged role in Perry's demise, a chilling reminder of the devastating consequences of addiction and the illicit drug trade. Section 7. The Fallout. News of Perry's death sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. Grief and disbelief washed over his fans. But on Tranquility Lane, the grief was intertwined with a chilling realization. Their quiet street, a backdrop for a tragedy. The investigation into Perry's death brought the scrutiny of law enforcement to their doorsteps. The media descended, hungry for details, cameras capturing every shadow, every hushed conversation. Tranquility Lane, once a sanctuary, was now exposed, laid bare for the world to see. Section 8. Justice for Matthew. The legal battle began, a fight that would test the limits of the legal system and the patience of all involved. Sangha and her associates, facing a litany of charges, stood in the courtroom, their fates hanging in the balance. Each charge, a piece of a larger puzzle, painted a grim picture of their alleged involvement. The prosecution, meticulously building their case, sought justice for Perry and accountability for those who profited from his addiction. They presented evidence, called witnesses, and aimed to leave no stone unturned in their pursuit of the truth. The defense, mounting their counter-arguments, engaged in a chess match of legal maneuvering. They challenged the prosecution's evidence, questioned the credibility of witnesses, and sought to create reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors. The trial, a spectacle played out in the public eye, drew intense media scrutiny. Reporters and cameras captured every moment, turning the courtroom into a stage where the drama of justice unfolded. Witnesses took the stand, their testimonies painting a vivid picture of addiction, desperation, and the devastating consequences of Sangha's alleged actions. Each story added a layer of complexity to the case, revealing the human cost of the crimes. The jury, tasked with sifting through the evidence, faced the daunting challenge of seeking truth in a tangled web of accusations and denials. Their deliberations would determine the outcome of a case that had captured the nation's attention. Section 9. Scars on Tranquility Lane. Life on Tranquility Lane would never be the same. The serene days of laughter and neighbourly chats have been replaced by an air of sorrow and reflection. The quiet peace that once defined the street shattered. The echoes of joy and children's laughter now replaced by an eerie silence, a silence that speaks volumes. The neighbours, forever marked by the events that unfolded in their midst, faces that once bore smiles now carry the weight of grief and loss, their eyes reflecting the pain of memories they wish they could forget. The shadow of addiction, the spectre of death, lingering long after the last camera crew packed up and left. The media frenzy has subsided, but the emotional scars remain, etched deeply into the hearts of those who lived through it. They were left to pick up the pieces, to rebuild their lives, their sense of community. The process of healing is slow, and the road to recovery is long and arduous. Yet amidst the sorrow there is a glimmer of hope, a determination to restore what was lost. The scars of Sangha's alleged actions, a constant reminder of the fragility of peace, a testament to how quickly tranquility can be disrupted. The once vibrant community now stands as a symbol of resilience and the human spirit's capacity to endure. The devastating reach of addiction and the haunting truth that sometimes tragedy can strike even in the most idyllic of settings. The beauty of the neighborhood now contrasts starkly with the pain that lingers, a poignant reminder that beneath the surface there are stories of struggle and survival. Section 10. Epilogue, a neighborhood haunted. Years later, the name Jasveen Sangha still evokes a shudder on Tranquility Lane. Her story is whispered among the residents, a tale of caution and mystery. Known as the Ketamine Queen, she remains a ghost in the machine of their collective memory. Her presence, though no longer physical, lingers in the minds of those who remember. The darkened doorways and shadowed corners of the neighborhood serve as stark reminders of the darkness that once visited their doorstep. It was a time when fear gripped the hearts of the residents. The children who once played without a care now understand the weight of the story behind their street's name. They have heard the tales from their parents, stories that have become part of the fabric of their upbringing. The laughter may have returned, but it's different now. It carries an undertone of caution, a subtle reminder of the past that cannot be erased, tinged with a hint of caution, a lingering awareness of the fragility of peace. Parents watch over their children with a protective eye, always mindful of the shadows that once loomed large. Tranquility Lane still stands, a testament to the resilience of community. The neighbours have come together, forging bonds that are stronger than ever before, but it carries a scar, a silent reminder of the day the world intruded and innocence was lost. The street sign, worn and weathered, tells a story of survival and the enduring spirit of the community. Today, Tranquility Lane is a place of hope and renewal. The community has rebuilt, and while the past is never forgotten, it no longer defines them. They have reclaimed their peace one day at a time. As the sun sets over Tranquility Lane, it casts a warm glow on a neighbourhood that has weathered the storm. The shadows of the past have receded, replaced by the light of a new dawn.